Here are my 3 rules for surviving horror films. Rule 1. Do not, under any circumstances, wake the dead. Rule 2. Do not wake the dead. And rule 3. Don't wake the dead. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Luke's Reviews, and on today's video I will be reviewing another Stephen King adaptation. This time it is for Pet Sematary. It's directed by Kevin Klosch and Dennis Widmyer, and it also stars Jason Clarke, John Lithgow, and Amy Seimetz. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the Pet Sematary story. I haven't read the book, I haven't seen the 1989 original film, and the trailers themselves for this film I wasn't that big a fan of. Maybe it's because I didn't rely on the nostalgia to get me through it. Maybe it was just because I didn't think that the film looked overly interesting. But I went in with fresh eyes, and it's okay. So if you aren't familiar with the Pet Sematary storyline, it focuses on a family who move out just in a remote location on the edge of a forest. Tragedy strikes. I won't go into spoilers because they show it in the trailer, but it's such a huge moment that I don't want to spoil it in this review. And Jason Clarke, the father, he goes to a part in the forest that if you take something that is dead and bury it there, it will return alive again. However, if you look at the tagline, sometimes dead is better. The best thing I can say about Pet Sematary is that it gets the atmosphere spot on. It's a perfect mixture of drab, gloomy, darkness, and I'm not just talking from a thematic sense. Visually, this isn't a bright, colourful film. It relies on a lot of greys, a lot of browns, a lot of murky, misty forest shots that visually are very impressive, but you're not going to feel light and fluffy watching this film. It's also worth noting that it's competently directed too. I'm pretty unfamiliar with these directors. I've never heard of them until this film, but now they're going to be someone that I am keeping an eye on. Because ultimately, Pet Sematary is a tale about grief and how we deal with it, and when it hits those notes, it works really, really well. We've just got now a splash of violence and gore, and a lot of gore. Unexpectedly, this is a very violent film. There's a bit that happens involving an ankle, and I'm not typically squeamish, but the performances are all impressive. Jason Clarke is really good as the father. Jason Clarke I don't think gets enough recognition as he should have. He's turns out really good performances, whether the film itself be naff or not. And here he does a really good job. He does a great job at playing the emotionless angle, the dead behind the eyes sort of stuff when again, that second act hits and things take a real turn. John Lithgow is reliable as always as the neighbour next door who strikes a really unlikely but friendly bond with the younger daughter, who is played by, I'm going to pronounce her name right, Jette Lawrence. I want to make sure that I'm getting her name right because she is the best thing in this entire film. How this little girl manages to hold her own in these really physically demanding scenes and go to places that I didn't even think were possible for a child actor to go into. Yeah, she is hands down the best part of Pet Sematary. As for Amy Seimetz's character, I think she gives a great performance, and there's a lot more to her. Her character is a lot more fleshed out than some of the others. However, I just didn't really get on board with her story all that much. She taps into a lot of stuff that's happened within her childhood, like her past, a relationship with her sister, and I'll leave it at that. But for me, it didn't feel as earned as it should have. Seimetz is doing a fantastic job, but her side story kind of feels just tacked on as if to get even more scares out of it. And unfortunately, that's where we run into my main problem with Pet Sematary, and that it's pretty predictable, both story-wise and the scares. So I don't really find it that scary. Because you've got to think about it. For me, someone who has no prior knowledge to Pet Sematary, not read the book, not seen the film, and I could, within about half an hour, pretty much tell you how this film is going to go. Yes, there's the odd few twists thrown in there that caught me off guard. Pretty much nothing really surprised me. Overall, Pet Sematary has a solid cast, good direction, great atmosphere and design, but the scares kind of fall flat. The story is pretty predictable, and by the end of it I was just left thinking I'm not really feeling the need to rush and see this ever again. So I'm going to give Pet Sematary a 6 out of 10. Anyway guys, let me know what you thought of Pet Sematary in the comments below. Also, I want to know what Stephen King adaptation that has yet to be made into a film or a TV show would you like to see be adapted. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and blog are in the description below. Many thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you in the next video.